Hi everyone. Today I chose to speak about the matrix and how to get out of it, how to get out of some sort of a robotic, repetitive existence or submission or slavery kind of thing, feeling. Um, where to start? It's kind of a vast operation, but I think to make it simple would be to find happiness inside of yourself and lowering your standards, opening up spiritually and closing out on what's superficial and non necessary. A bit what fascism was doing in the opposite way. Fascism and nationalism uh, played with what I could say call the common sense or the collective consciousness. They played a lot with what words meant interiorly and the effect they had because words are mantras, they all have power. So they managed to program some sort of dynamic and to teach in this school of theirs, magic school or something, how to manipulate and win and blah blah. And what they actually did was the wall. It's from here to there, the pubis. Um, it's this kind of a hardened energy. I feel the energy inside me. You have to pay attention, and you might end up feeling some stuff moving there. This dough I call, or pasta, like the spaghetti church. But it's these waves of twirling ribbons and with love on them, and sometimes and all that. But they closed. They got some to harden up here, because what they would call heaven would be this, the energy and the breath coming from up here, and the wake up, the way where the energy comes in, the grail would be up here. When you see somebody with a big hole in their shirt, a big neck hole, it could mean that they have an open way. I don't know if there's one that got away, but I know I got one. I got free energy, or some people call it beer or money, or sometimes it's hard liquor tasting. But they blocked that, and by blocking people from their chakras from positive energy or a universal energy, they were creating some sort of a lack that would result in a spiritual need or something that ends up affecting what you want and what you need. You're lacking the energy to replenish your soul, your spirit, or whatever. So you kind of end up having a coffee or consuming something because you consume more when you don't have that energy. Plus, if they combine it with fire, the alchemical element fire that creates this kind of electric fiery uh, veil around you or a shell. So with that stress feeling and the lack of energy, plus plugging it on your need points, what you need, and it's by rubbing that, you're gonna start needing the image that rubs on that in your head or wanting it. And they combine sex chakra to needs, and even the words they would call those things in their world domination plan of economical growth and all that, and the new world order and whatever. They're, they needed people to consume and to consumerism and so like it's an example the mantras, the words. If you say cappuccino, it gives a block right here where your chi comes in when your solar plexus chakra. Because what you're actually saying is kaput is broken in Russian or something. Then chi evokes the chi energy, and then it says no, which is a negation in lots of languages. So that means kaput, the chi, and no. And so it closes, your body closes the chi, making you, by closing that energy flow, makes you want and need even more. So you end up drinking the cappuccino. A lot of things or names were in bad mantras or are still in bad mantras. So it creates this, fascism creates this, plus the fashion and the glamour and all the, what you would call special things and the privileges of traveling, this importance to show yourself better than something else emerges in fascism because it's very individualist and ego related. So in order to get out of the matrix, it's to get rid of this ego that wants to be better and win. Winning's the trap. Yeah, for sure, winning brings lots of glamour and success and makes you makes you the best in some sort of way. But doesn't mean that morally and emotionally that you're the best and that your habits and all that you were the best at swimming or bicycling, but doesn't make you a model for any other reason. So a lot of people will sit behind these status or hierarchic positions or them with the material they gained and what they can afford and what they can do that others can do, like taking a picture, having a drink on the beach, taking a picture at the restaurant, putting it on Facebook. So this big, the social media are watering that ego nonstop and that narcissist inside of us that fascism nourishes. The narcissist manipulates and he's in love with himself and he's the best and has to win and is always in a confrontation when he's dealing with someone in order to dominate. And with mind games and even telepathy, they manage to monkey people into acting as the way they want and giving them what they want and need. So, in order to get out of the matrix, I'd say one of the first things would be to turn on, to realize, to get open those real eyes, that third eye, and to touch the energy, to feel around you what's going on, and to be aware of things, and then to tune in to see what's going on inside of your body and where the energy comes in from, if there is any, to meditate on music. When you don't know what to do, it's a lot better to listen to good music that'll purge you from the rats and whatever you accumulated in your day and the stress and all that. More than TV that makes people want to consume and holding this big humongous lie and this game they're showing everywhere that's running this underground fascist attitude in the society, creating codependencies and domination and blah blah and alpha males and all that. And then these people gathering all these breakable things to prove themselves, or with money often end up, or their job, they got a better job, they'll shit down on you because they think they're better. And then they develop this need to condescend in some sort of way when they're talking to somebody that they judge inferior to themselves. So you have to get rid of this hierarchy and social difference. That's more of a social work at hand. Since a revolution never stops, well, that's what we're going to be working on. Uh, but the individual also needs to develop some sort of attitude and a set of values that liberates himself and that eliminates that dependency he has to things, services, and people, especially affective dependency, dépendance affective, they say in French. Uh, so after turning on that third eye, that awareness, what you feel, not fearing your emotions, living through them, seeing where they lead you to, seeing what different things lead to, because the pattern it gets established unconsciously. You set an order on things that'll create a routine for you. It's some sort of way you program yourself when you're in your space where you relax or where you're at. It'll it's a sequence of importance of objects and all that, but that's not what I wanted to get into. So you got to get rid of, after tuning in, feeling inside, meditating, listen to music. Those are the priests. Music, meditation music, heavy metal, grindcore, Nintendo core, punk rock. Well, some punk has been dirtied by evil fascist punks and Nazi punks. It's hard to judge sometimes with punk rock because most of the good emerging bands all started off fascist because they were very influential, and being narcissists, they could play with the dynamic of the crowd and this and that, and fool people into this fascist game where they venerate the asshole instead of the Christ or the chosen one. So you have to stop following that game, that rat game, because it is enslaving you. By listening to good music, metal, marginal music, they'll get that need you have to please others. Do not please others. Please yourself. You're allowed to please yourself, but don't please yourself by feeding your ego. That's the thing. Don't please yourself in order to be able to prove something. And don't follow a group. It, be yourself, and even if you're all alone, it's a lot better being all alone and not bothered and whatever than to be surrounded by toxic people and narcissists that are trying to kill you, because they actually do that. They actually run this game, and with partying and all that, they kill the good night. They used to kill the good night, at least. People like me. Harley Quinn's back. It's good night written on there. So they have to do that with the bad night. That would be an anarchist type of order, where the bad night is persecuted and hellbringer and all that. So try not to please or try and please to fit in. That way you're going away from your standards and your values and even your destiny in order to gain this comfort with acceptance from others. But that's giving them a whole lot of power over yourself. That's one way you enslave yourself and bond yourself to the matrix is by trying to please others in order to fit in. If they don't appreciate who you really are, bare naked, with not a penny in your pockets, they're not worth being friends with. And they'll often be just using you if you still go and see them. They'll make you feel really happy and all that, but the whole time they're using you in order to get things to work the way they want. You never necessarily consulted. A lot of times it's one, two, or three leaders that are the quickest ones manage to orchestrate an activity or something, then everybody else follows. And since the gurus, the gurus and they're very charismatic, well, they become some sort of chief or alpha male and female, and they do everything in order to look better than others. That's basically what they do. Look like they're having more fun, more this, more that, more privilege, more money, more material, more. So that materialist game, get away from that. And by listening to punk, the real true punk rock, punk, folk music, especially folk is for the local slang. It's good to protect from the local, what energy is affecting you locally, because they're from your place. They'll protect you even more than the span from far away, because they don't know the demons, or I'll say demons, or energies present in the dynamic that's in your sector. So stop changing unless it's bringing you self-valorization for what you are. Don't follow. Uh, you'll be just standing there half of the time, or just being that smiling follower that they're glad to have because it makes them look good to have lots of people around them, and that you're just something that makes them look good to them, kind of thing. So try to see what reason people do what, and by tuning in, you find and listening to good music, and you just go dancing on the music and play with that dough inside. Uh, Music will take away those superficial needs. Like for me, I'm a loner. My my life consisted in losing all of my best friends. I got this black widow. They took my kid. This wheelchair girl, because she was violent, she cheated on me all the time, and people a little bit for people to know it. So she ruined my reputation, and then ruined all my old friends by trying them out and all that. And she just kept the whole way sabotaging and sabotaging. And so I got this rose, or this curse, that eliminated all love from my surrounding and just filled it with drugs, addictive drugs also. So, but having been a marginal, listening to marginal music, punk and metal, well, like when I think about my loneliness, it only happens maybe twice a year at my birthday for St. John's Baptist, and for Christmas. The only three times I actually think about the fact I'm alone, if I am on those 3 days. My birthday, something makes it that I don't care at all about being lonely, and I'm comfortable by myself. And I don't need to go out and fit in and have fun with the others or this and that. When I go out, it's to please myself and to see a good concert. I don't even drink. And the concerts, they clean you. The music, those are the true magicians, the musicians. And they get you away from from stuff you don't need. Beware of that TV. It's programs. They're programming you. And they're programming you into consuming to get the economy rolling. And the capitalist way is not the way. It's, it's, it's then the fascism is making people valorize a whole bunch of unimportant stuff based on accumulation and fitting in. And if you're the one left out that's not following, well, then you get the Christ's treatment, and they're all taking pictures, and you're the scapegoat. Well, see if that happens. That means you're not following people that are actually trying to help you or that truly appreciate you that much. They'll appreciate manipulating you. They'll appreciate getting you to do what they want you to do. But whenever you fall broke or fall on your ass, they're not there to pick you up. So it's better off being alone than badly accompanied. So by getting rid of the need to fit in is a big and huge step into getting out of the matrix and not playing that discriminatory fascist game of taking pictures of a selected one, which is usually the one most likely to succeed, or the best, or the true king, or the true leader is always being left out. A good night. So you don't follow that game. That's what's enslaving you, and that's what making people control one another, and it's affecting freedom of speech. So may as well find happiness inside of you, and then by working on yourself, whatever you irradiate as of energy and your values will position you in this social dynamic that empowers you according to what you reflect. And then you just have to trust the universe and to communicate your will and what you want to the universe, and the universe works in order to get you what you need. So you will find those old friends back. You'll see them pop up again. You'll get those women that you were looking at that you couldn't have because it was always the bosses that would have them or whatever, or the most influential, or always being the last in line. And so that doesn't happen no more. You know, you're always first and last. You're alone amongst other people. And then by saying those, you just program yourself. If a dynamic keeps on happening that excludes you and this and that, notice why and correct it by talking to yourself and saying, people will stop ignoring me when I'm with people. They will stop hurting me. If they tend to stick to you in turn, they'll give you pain. They'll give you a whole bunch of stuff when you're a free thinker. But that's what they don't like. You're a free thinker. You're not emotionally dependent of this acceptance that they depend on. That makes them unable to make a decision, an important decision, especially like what to do. They can never choose that because it's the leaders that the most charismatics that lead the show. So if they pick the wrong thing, they'll be alone doing it. So they can't really choose or take a position on anything because if the group hasn't given its position yet, because they need to fit in. So they'll always take the position of the winning few, or and then act in their interests, hoping to get crumbs falling off the table, the 1% game and all that. So it's not a dynamic that valorizes you, that fills in your emotional luggage, that makes you feel good. And then with your values, you put your values in material and what you can get with money. Well, uh, I'd say the most manipulative and opportunistic few that manage to get better jobs most likely step their way up there, leaving people in the mud and left behind. When you look at what kind of people they are, they're actually not good people on the inside and actually feed this fascist game, either not knowing or truly being conscious of what they're doing, becoming a capitalist, a greedy creep or something inside, behind this extremely beautiful and approved and glorified image they have that's impeccable. They're truly a Scrooge inside. So that's often what you'll find in these dominant groups when they're dominant. So you're going to get dominated in some sort of way. They'll keep you quiet or something if you start thinking for yourself. They'll, then they'll raise the standards, and those standards keep on getting raised by all those ads and TV and whatever what they show on social media and all that. So, like this guy, well, he's going to see he has a truck because the truck makes him somebody better than somebody that has a cheaper car. So what the fuck? Does that make him a better person? Does that mean he won't backstab you? Does that mean he's not an hypocrite? Does that mean he's not gonna steal your woman on you? Does that mean you don't even know exactly that person's true alignment? You're just taking the truck for granted and saying, well, if he manages to take a truck to get a truck, well, I could probably learn from his methods to get myself one. But if you actually don't care about proving yourself to anyone, well, then you don't care about him having a truck. So, and you don't overvalue him because he said he has a truck, because it doesn't mean anything to you and it's not on your scale of values. So that doesn't give them an extra position or an advance on you. And and a lot of times they'll, after they said they have the truck, they'll become a bit condescending and starting to valorize themselves more than you and all that. So that's a kind of a narcissistic ego talking attitude of looking better than someone and to rank yourself uh, face to others. And in egalitarian society, everybody's looked at equal. It's not because you have a big house that you'll get more respect, and it's not because you have a gorgeous girlfriend that you earn more respect either. So that makes it uh, a lot more authentic. And then you'll realize that most of the authentic people are the ones that have been stepped on and pushed aside, driven crazy or killed or whatever. And that those true people, the teeth, behind the teeth, are a very good person that won't swindle you. Trust the teeth. It's a good portal. In the eyes. Well, in the eyes, you get rats sneaking up there. Yeah, I'm in my social dynamic. So try to irradiate happiness and to be a battery or uh, uh, maybe not a battery, because you'll get people depending on you, following you. You don't want that. You don't want somebody that depends on you that's going to drain you either. And a lot of times, those that don't depend on you drain because they're above. So that's not better. So, because they were above, they're not above no more. So, and you don't have to follow. Now, the winning team is actually metalheads. Two arms are like this, no thumbs, and it's my triads. So, the dominant few are marginals now, and the pyramid's been turned upside down. So the winning team is actually the right team to follow for once. It's not the fascists no more. But time will make that dissolve into your minds, I guess, with the reverse pyramid principle of influence flowing through. Influence is good, domination is restrictive. And then leadership is free, but is a lot aligned towards the leader's needs and what he wants and vision, and people following one person's interest. But a leader is a lot better than a dominant dictator or a commander, because you can negotiate with him. And since you're following, well, you actually appreciate the dynamic he's giving you. That's actually a normal pyramid dynamic with the leader on dictating. He actually, we say inspire, but you can inspire people by dictating. It'll inspire them even more. And it'll kind of make them be inspired by it. So, so to get rid of the hierarchy and the way, and to not think that you're inferior to someone, especially not because of your job or what you've gained in life. So if you don't care about that, that means that you won't position yourself below and in a vulnerable way in front of those people, because you do not believe that you are inferior for no reason. You might have less money, but that does not make you inferior. It gives more freedom in some sort of way to people that have lots, and sometimes power and influence, but it doesn't give them total control over people's minds, because love rules now. So if you're not affected by not thinking that you're inferior, then you rise above, and you're not affected by all those needs. They're lasting to you because they don't reach your ego, because the ego you destroyed. The ego is just a way to look better than somebody and to be loved. Not, they don't even love a charismatic person that much. They don't love them the way a lover would love them. They'll throw flowers at them all the time and be sweet, 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 and this and that. But still, they're being fooled in some sort of way and manipulated. A lot of people fall under the control of the dominant leader. I see it all the time happen when I fight my ace of spades. It's the only kind I see. And I try to give people freedom. I try to put people on top of the kind of absorbing their influence in order to make me like they see me best, but with by following what they love. So the love impregnates you and gives you and makes you truly love and like what's been put on there. That's why love rules, and it transforms people. And good music will transform you in order not to care and not to diminish yourself for those false hierarchic uh, ways of calculating a person's value in this capitalist dynamic that's truly, the proof is the 1% is destroying the earth and exploiting most of the people below with their companies and their monopolies and all that. So we all know money does not make somebody a better person. It usually corrupts and makes them greedier and want power and all that. So, and then once you got rid of, and by working on yourself, your interior, you'll start irradiating what you need to, what will attract what you need and what you lack in your life. Is it friends? Is it presence? Is it, well, usually it's, all we need is love. And yeah, to feed ourselves, a roof and all that. But the most need we need most of the time is love. Love, love, love. That's what we all want to lean on. There's a post now. And there's pole dancers that protect it. You lean on the post, teeth grow. Lean on the post, teeth grow. So once we all got that love back, that fascism was keeping us from touching, and it was a sin, and you're molesting a girl, and blah blah, and if you touch the love, and they really sexually orientated and put need on it and all that. But once you understand that by working on love, gets you centered on your true needs and values, then you don't depend on other people to feel happy because you have love. You found the love inside yourself. You find connections with your chakras to eternal, universal energy. You meditate. You, you spend your time more constructively. Become a creator. When you're a creator, you are tracing your own path in this cosmic dome. You're creating your dome when you're creating, when you're not following. You can participate. A collectivity actually valorizes every individual, and every individual can take the word and the talking stick, and one is actually shared to whoever wants to be one and talk, kind of thing. For sure, there's this permanent type of one, chosen one kind of thing, like me. I'm always the one. I'm always it. I've been the Christ. I do the hangman in public. I'm always alone. No, I worked hard. Now they start talking to me. Now women, I got other women, and now that's by following my convictions and by having true marginal values that would save the earth, help people out, and being a good knight. That puts you over and on top of people and makes you gain followers, make friends, true friends that admire you and take you as a model, and that love you for real, that appreciate you for real, that'll support you when you're down. That's what you want to gather. You don't want to gather those people that have the iPhone, iWatch, and laptop. It's not because they got all the material and got lucky with studies and work that they're better at you in some sort of way in making it through a capitalist dynamic. Maybe they got good at that. They understood the game a lot quicker, but that's not the game that's going to be continued. It's a game people will find less and less important. They want to look better and have a better lawn and all that. So by spreading love and what you work on inside yourself, what you will irradiate will attract the universe will give you what you need, what you desire, what you want. And then by lowering with music, good music, your needs and your bond to money, and will actually make you consume less. And by lowering your consumption and by changing your habits and eliminating all those little things that you added in order to fit in, you'll notice that most of those things don't bring you the the equilibrium and balance and whatever state of mind you truly need, and are just related to getting a brand new one when it breaks. So by not wanting or needing anything to fit in, puts you in advance on lowering your needs and your habits and your bad habits. What's down there, what's on the love, it's always hidden behind love, a bad habit. You have to rub, whenever you feel love, there's tons in your head, there's all these veins and stuff that I just do this and I feel a horny feeling up in doing ding dong up there. There's somebody up there. Those are persons or bad habits. So work on love. Don't be afraid of love. And when you find the love inside you, you'll never need love from anybody else or an animal, because you're going to be tuned in to yourself and on universal energy. And by irradiating and working on yourself, not in an ego related way, not in order to look more glamorous or ravishing, or this or that, but more by expressing how you feel inside with the way you dress, by explaining a story, by having life in your eyes that truly feel and observe what's around you, and by communicating something more than just a position you think you have facing others, putting you above or below. That's not what we want to see. We're sick of that game. So we want eyes that are telling a story, that discovered, that finally saw the light. We want eyes that collaborate, that work for equality and respect, virtue, reason, wisdom. And then by combining all those true values, well, those values will make somebody more or less influential according to the importance he gives to those true values, or that the common sense dictates, or that the common sense demonstrates. The common sense, for me, by entering in contact with the common sense, it's a common sense. It's this energy we share in common that makes sense out of our lives when we open ourselves to it. It'll show us the way. The common sense is God in some sort of way, but it's a collective soul. I think that being in contact with the tribe and all these energies you don't even know but that make you feel good puts you in a power position in front of others that haven't found that true treasure inside of them. So listen basically to good music, metal, grindcore, punk rock, folk punk, and that folk. Uh, a lot of music, the new music is good. The music of the 80s, Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and that rock they had was, when you listen to that, you're always staring at your beer or, I feel like having a smoke just talking about them. They make you want to consume those were a trap. So listen to good new music and actual music and all that, and they'll destroy that need of being accepted. So that will give you the power to decide stuff because you're deciding for who, for your personal interest. You don't have to follow the group, and you don't mind being left alone. This is the last of your concerns. Thanks to music, they won't make you feel sad or depressed from being alone. The group will make you sad. The group of narcissists will make you depressed and feeling unsatisfied and unvalorized and used and all that, hiding behind this false friendship. So you got to be careful of that narcissistic friendship, fake friendship. Those are traitors and hypocrites. So you'll be less vulnerable, not needing anybody, because when you need something, you accept stuff you would normally refuse about a person and follow. That makes you step on your principles and your convictions and your values when you need. So by eliminating need, you eliminate a lot of social dependency. And then what you can do is associate yourself to communities, balanced communities that respect freedom and the individual. If you need people around you, there are those things. Those things do exist, where the fascism doesn't run the show. If you really, really need presence, but you'll attract it by looking at it with what you irradiate, what you feel like, and what you give as an attitude, as a response of how strong you got by becoming, not believing. When the bee leaves, you're left with a string with no love on it. When the bee comes, it starts wrapping love on that wire. The bee has to come. So you have to become, not believe. Because they're making you believe you're in a certain position. They make you believe in stuff. And that belief is that what is restricting you. Is a cage. And you know yourself the most, so you build the most perfect cage for yourself with those beliefs. To believe you need a nicer dress to show off, to believe you need to show that you went traveling and that you have money, and you believe that that makes you feel good, but that's not something strong, because as soon as you're confronted by somebody that does not believe that, you have a conflict, or you have a big difference deal through kind of thing. If the person is like me and doesn't believe your hierarchic system of values and won't let you overpower him for those uh, odd reasons you give, materialistic reasons and all that, then you're not in power, because that person is free. She doesn't give you that position of power because she doesn't believe in you. She doesn't believe in what you think you are, because it's not part of his type of values, because he has become his own self and his own entity. You have to become and realize, those real lies they tell you. That will be from dis- detaching yourself from most of your friends. They're keeping you, because what those fascists would do, they would get close to you early in your life and then start adding all those bad habits and bad ideas whenever they could, being your best friend. So a lot of times that might mean getting rid of your best friend, because when you take a step back, you'll notice, oh, he did that, that. I never understood why he did that. That made me think about that, and blah blah. And then you notice that all that person was doing is taking every opportunity to add something that will destroy you, will make you destroy yourself, or make you enslave yourself, or make you accept stuff that will enslave you later, or accept stuff that are tying you up just in order to fit in. But fitting in with what? A ball and chain? You know? So become, don't believe, would be my opinion. Find happiness inside yourself and that energy and energetic balance from meditation and dancing on music, letting your body move to the music. Just try for fun, just to let go and to just enough to hold your head, nothing more, and try to slack it off a bit with the music, and then you'll feel this horny feeling, and then the music will kind of, you'll grab a sound and start moving to it, and then you start feeling all that, those tendons and energy spaghetti things that with love on them that you need to clean yourself up, open your way. Yeah, here's the one way, my way, your way. Don't take the highway. There's tons of ways to, but you got to dig your own up by tracing your own trail. Then, once you're a creator and that you don't depend on a group's acceptance, well, you can become your own boss. By becoming your own boss, because you're a creator and you can offer a service or have taken time to learn something, learning and knowledge will put you, can put you in a superior position to someone. And it can also be a trap and indoctrinating. So you got to beware with knowledge and always be aware that what you believe is what makes your reality. Your beliefs makes your reality. Get rid of beliefs and become with the universe. Become with your surrounding. Become what they want you to. I wouldn't say what they want you to do. What love makes you become by following your nose, to, to let love guide you. And that way you will not vape, but you'll irradiate love, and people will be happy and leaning on you. You become some sort of father that will empower you. Love can empower you. When you feel the love, it's like you have a gun in your hands. So a person's evil, you just love the hateful things on love and put the worst shit on love, and they will become in love with that. It protects you when you, and plus when you're creating your own path according to your own convictions and values, not in order to fit in society. Be an anarchist. Be don't be an individualist, because that makes you become greedy and egoistic. But do not neglect your individual and your personality. And what you irradiate is what you'll get. You'll often be confronted to people confronted to you. You'll see their face in the people you cross in the street. Pay attention to what face they give you when they look at you. That's somebody responding to some sort of attitude you have that most likely is inspired by you, and that your attitude created that emotion on whoever's soulmate or friend's face. It'll appear in people you cross. So play with that and try to make that look happy or respectful. For me, it's always a nemesis or my worst enemy on the person in front of me. When I look and focus, the face they have is my worst enemy's face. But he looks like, according to the way I believe. But I'm getting away from the subject. I'm going into the psychic control and mind control, narcissistic psychic mind control and telepathy. I'll be doing a video about that. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. So it's been close to an hour. So become, don't believe. And by not, yeah, just in the last parenthesis, by not having to follow and fit into a group, then you can make decisions. Then you can adopt an opinion and a position on ideas and theory, because you don't have to wait to see what the majority wants or believes. before you pick. You can pick for yourself straight off the bat. Notice followers never, if you ask them to take position on something important, they just can't. They're incapable of taking, and they do not take position on nothing. They haven't heard what the team was taking position on. If that team would be a collectivity, that would be okay in some sort of way, but she would be allowed to have her opposite thoughts and position, and they would be taken into consideration. In an alpha leader type of dynamic, they don't care about what you think if they expect you to think what they've decided, and that's what usually people do. So there's a difference. Matrix, fascist kind of dynamics of control, because people, when you're in my position, my perspective, people are puppets. You can tap onto them and move them around from a distance, touching on different energies. And you can program teams and get them synchronized with turning, twisting the tape in here and putting their heads straight and all that, and making functional teams in the crowds and stuff like that, so that you can become your own alpha master by becoming, by be, feel what you feel. Most emotions have been attached to needs. So detach those needs from those emotions. Live the emotions when you meditate. Fear, love, anxiety, loneliness, heartbreakfulness, depression, or whatever, sadness, excitement, joy, happiness, comfort. What makes you comfortable? Has that been tempered? Reactivate your comfort zone, your happiness zone, your fun zone. Well, beware of fun. That's how they kill you, because they've related fun to something deadly all the time. And fun is more, fun plays in my nose. Fun is more party orientated now than true, simple fun of doing a puzzle or drawing, painting, sculpting, gardening, cooking, reading, good books. Find peace in books. Find a way to think in books. Then make your own scale of values and valorize the people you want in your house. The house. Welcome to my house. And then these are my friends. And that's the unity, I think. The right and the left. These are the workers. That's John. And then whatever. Okay, so I should stop this nonsense. But that's all alpha leader kind of signs and signals you gotta learn how to read. There's a whole bunch of nonverbal things, and the things you see in the elements you actually take a look at and notice are messages from the universe or from your father, mother, what they like, or often what I like. Well, I'll see in my kids' Facebook the next day whatever I said the day before, because I'm their father, because I became and traced my route. I found my way, the just in case, and then the just in time, and then I had the just in power, and then I had just insane. Those are all my power words, because my name is Justin, not Jesus. But I was Jesus, I think. I'm very special. So love yourself. Be happy with yourself. Don't think that you're. Don't diminish yourself in your mind. If something's making you think always in a bad way and condescending way about yourself, fight that. That comes from a thought you can't hear. So tell yourself, erase what, attack what is making me think that way, and listen to good music, and the music will attack it. Love the fuck out of it, and take those evil commands out of your mind. All those evil commands, let those be loved. It's these twirls inside my head. They're all horny feeling, love you, kind of. So dance and don't be afraid to look ridiculous. And when you're a father like me, well, you get all this toboggan slide thing, water slides for rats inside of you, and become the Skywalker complex because they're all inside of you. So you actually could make them love and hate stuff, and but actually always love them if you want them to be comfortable within you, and just try to help all the time to get things better, and that will make you be loved and accepted by true people, true good people that won't swindle you, be traitors, or backstab you at the end of the road like they all expect they're going to do. If you ever make it to destination, watch your back with the narcissists and alpha male fascist dominant structures. If good wins, evil will backstab. But it's the good in your life that is evil within. Toxic friends, beware of those. If they don't make you feel like you're part of them because you don't have the same phone, ditch them. Ditch the phone. Fuck the phone. So peace, and I hope you get these. And don't forget to like and to subscribe to the channel. Go look at my other videos. I have tons of videos. Some are more psycho than others. Some will say I'm a psychosis type of person. That's the fascists. Usually they hide behind psychiatry. So go look at my videos and become yourself and show how you are. Communicate and make things better. Work your scale of values. Find happiness inside of you and listen to good music that will adjust your needs and desires and how you valorize yourself. Don't be a prick to yourself. Think positive. It's okay to say that you're good, that you're best or whatever, and always talk to yourself as if you were the best. Never get rid of those little thoughts that make you want to notice defects. If you're noticing more defects, there's certainly something you got to change in your way of thinking. And by thinking positive, you'll end up flourishing a positive way and finding freedom away from that matrix. It'll make you gain the comfort and slack to become your own boss, to offer services. Try not to get into the kinky phone stuff selling, and become an artisan. Work with your hands. Do what you can do. Show a talent. Exploit it. Don't exploit it. Well, now if you can exploit, because it was exploiting us a lot. It is the 1% now. So that's about it.